me now. When my things I get over 300,000. Let's track you the one to please. Don't drink your cups like Doug Lee.
In the last session we did, I couldn't get anybody to stand up and clap, so I'm going to guess you guys are going to be the same way. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So I always start out and I always say, hey, this conference is for you guys. And I'm going to download all kinds of knowledge on you, all kinds of information. I'm going to share all kinds of things. So I definitely want you guys asking questions. I mean, because you go to a conference and you get all these great ideas, and then you go back to the dealership, and what happens? Life. Life gets in the way. We're dealing with an angry customer that didn't get the key fob. They didn't get the floor mats. So what I want you to do is definitely take notes. And if what I share with you, if you just pick up, let's say, 2 things, I want you to make sure you go back and you do it. Because in this presentation, what I'm going through is I'm going to share tactics that we're doing with dealerships across Canada. And these tactics are working. And these tactics are so simple, you can do them yourselves. I mean, you can work with the vendor that you have and you can lay these processes out. Because oftentimes what happens is we're like, oh, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. So what do? We start spending money to get more leads, but we don't have the infrastructure in place. And that's what I'm going to talk about, is the infrastructure and the things that you've got to do. And the stuff that I'm going to share with you today is not just for a dealership. It's for you guys that are vendors, the guys that are marketing to the dealerships. This works for any business. And I mean, these are tactics that we use on our own website. I mean, granted, some of the ones are automotive that you can't do, but you'll see what I'm talking about. The way we structure images, the way we structure forms on the pages. So I'm going to go through that. But again, I want you guys to ask questions, but I'm going to roll fast. So what I want to do, in the count of 3, I want you guys to read this together, because this is key. Are you ready? And come on now, don't be shy. 1, 2, 3. Many are in... All right, well, it's a good thing we're not singing in the choir here, guys, all right? But anyway, but think about it. I mean, you had this dream, and you're like, I'm going to open up a dealership, and I'm going to open up this business. I know how to sell. I know how to sell cars. I know how to sell this product, this service. And that's what you do, is you go in and you say, I'm going to start selling my service, my widgets, whatever it is. But you haven't developed a marketing strategy. So now you're spending all of this money here and there. Somebody walks into your office, and they got something that looks cool, some type of package. Oh, we can do this, and it's only $500. And then before you know it, it's like $500, $500, $500. And at the end of the month, you're like, wow, I'm not selling anymore, and I'm spending all this money. It's because you got to create a strategy. And I mean, and what makes a marketing strategy is a bunch of little campaigns, a bunch of little strategies. And I know that gets overwhelming, but the way to do it, it's just like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. I want you guys to do a swipe wall. In other words, the swipe wall is where you get the invisible paint, like idea paint, and you paint that wall up, and you start writing the ideas on the wall, and you start taking one idea at a time, and you start doing it. If you just do one idea a week, you've got 52 ideas that's happening in your strategy. And again, this will work whether you're automotive or a vendor. It doesn't make a difference. So the things I'm going to share with you, I mean, because, yeah, I'm from the States, but Toyota Canada, Honda Canada, they've brought us out to train the different things that we're doing for the dealers. Because, again, we have dealers all across Canada. We have over 150 dealers, I believe that's the last count, in Canada. And we're bringing new ways, new things to do it. And the dealers are seeing tremendous success. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you some of the analytics and the results. But again, these are all tactics that you guys can do on your own. So the 5 steps of success. And you've got to make sure your marketing strategy follows this. So I'm going to run through. The number one thing you need to do before you start advertising is create a unique identity. And I know a lot of times you're thinking, oh, I'm selling Honda, I'm selling Toyota, I'm selling Mazda, and there's all of these other dealers. Like, I'm a Toyota dealer, and there's all these other Toyota dealers I'm competing against, plus Mazda, plus Honda, and so on and so forth. Well, if that's the case, I mean, think about businesses that you work with on a daily level. I mean, you go to a department store, and you choose the one department store over the other department store. They're selling the same product, but one sells it for more. Why do you choose that one? Is it because of their branding strategy? I mean, look at Apple. Why do we choose an iPhone over a Droid? Why do we choose Apple products like, let's say, Apple over Microsoft and those type of things? Is it because of the way they've positioned themselves? Is it the way that they've built the computer? And you can do the same thing. I mean, really. So think about that. And I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to show you what some of the dealers are doing that we represent, of how to stand out and be different. Because I'm here to tell you, it's not all about price. It's really not. And we have a number of dealers that are selling their vehicles for anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 more than any other dealer in the market, and they're selling more of them. Number two, buy the right media mix and stay consistent. I mean, I don't know how many times my performance managers are having that headache and I'm having to give them some aspirin. I'm like, going, what's wrong, little fella? And he's saying, oh, I just don't understand it. Now we're going over to billboards. Now we're going to radio. Now we're going to TV. And I'm like, really? This month? It's like, oh yeah, we just can't get consistency. What you do today, you will see results in 90 days. But you've got to put the right marketing mix in place. And I'm going to talk about where do you start with that. Is it digital or is it traditional? And number three is focus on increasing conversion. Again, we're spending all of this money. We're buying third-party leads. We're advertising on this website and that website. I mean, there's some great websites out there to market on. But the first thing you need to do is understand, where is that shopper going? Where are you driving that shopper? Your website. So if you're driving them to your website, shouldn't you work on your own backyard first? Shouldn't you do everything you can do to make your website to be a higher converting website? Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to share some of those tactics. But if you're not looking at heat mapping, you're not looking at your Google Analytics, don't look at the website analytics, guys. That just confuses you and keeps you awake at night. What do you think about your website? Oh, I love my website. Really? What's it converting at? I don't know. If you don't know what your website converts at, when you go back to your dealership or your business, find out. Find out what your website, the conversion is, and start building processes in the website. And again, we're going to share those. Number four, you got to train the team. You got to train your team in the process. I don't know how many times we've had clients that would have a sales event, and you'd call the phone, and the receptionist answering the phone act like it was any other day. She wasn't, or he wasn't, talking about the event that was going on. Or you go onto the dealership, you go onto the lot, and you ask the salesperson, hey, I'm coming in about so-and-so ad, I seen this. And they're like, what? Or they call on the phone and you're listening to the messages. And I mean, that's the first stage of it. But then what about the actual process when a lead comes in? What is that process? Who handles it? What is the response time? How well are they? What's their percentage of making sure that the person shows up for the appointment? If you're not tracking your leads through the entire sales funnel, you're losing opportunities. And I tell dealers all the time, with our agency, I can drive traffic to your website all day long. I can make your website convert. But once they convert, do you have the process in place to make sure that your sales team's got a really quick response time of 15 minutes or less? Because that's usually what happens, is that's where the problem goes, or on the phone. So again, understand all the processes. What kind of process do you have in your service lane to make sure that you're getting those vehicles, you're conquesting those vehicles out of your service lane? And then number 5 is develop a strategy of retention. That's what we forget about so much. We're spending so much money to bring the next one in that we forget about the one we just sold today and yesterday and last week. We're not working them for referrals. We're not working them for extended warranties. We're not following up with them and trying to get them to bring that vehicle in when it's a year or 2 years old. We send maybe a direct mail or an email blast and we call it done. We don't have a process in our dealership to make sure we got people working the phone room, our team working that phone room to make sure we're getting that traffic back. So the first thing you've got to decide as a business owner in your marketing, who are you? Why should I buy from you? And if you think it's about price, you're wrong. And I want you to write this down. And you guys, I always say that a lot, but write this down. It's not about how long you've been in business or you're friendly. People don't care about that. They don't care you've been in business for 32 years or 42 years. They don't care that you have a friendly staff. Think about it. Think about your own habits. When's the last time you did business with a company because they had a friendly staff or they'd been in business for 50 years? It hasn't happened. Well, maybe 1 or 2 people. Why did you choose to do business with a company? Well, we've got our own selfish reasons, and that's what you've got to think about your clients. And starting today, I want you to stop calling your customers customers, because customers go to Walmart and they're based on price. Your clients use you as a resource. You're a trusted resource. You're an authority. Dentists have clients. Doctors have clients. Attorneys have clients. And you have clients. I mean, even your hairstylist. I see some of you guys don't have hairstylists, okay, like Jack out there, because he has no hair. But even your hairstylist has clients. So why would you think you would not have a client? You definitely have clients, and you can build that authority level, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So again, who are you? This is Hunter. It's one of our dealership, one of our guys, he's a sales manager at a dealership. And this dealership has so much competition, it's ridiculous. And everybody's selling the cars triple net. And they're like, well, how are we going to sell more cars? Well, we built the strategy, and yeah, it took a year and a half, but they're the #1 volume dealer now. So I'm going to show you, there's the $5,000 test drive is what they do. But we wanted to come up with a way to let everybody understand that it's different, that it's really exciting, it's something fun. So the $5,000 test drive is all you got to do is come in for a test drive, and you get entered in the drawing to win $5,000. We've had some dealers go, oh, I don't want to give away $5,000. It's like, why? Because we're not talking about price, that you can buy this car for $8,000 off, you can buy this Camry for $19,999 when the other dealer's advertising it for $18,999. So we're getting more individuals into the dealership, and it's only costing us $5,000 a month. And we call this selling your byproduct, because we have the person that came in for a test drive, whether they purchased or not. And then we call them and, hey, you won the $5,000 test drive. They come into the dealership, they get the big check, we take pictures of them, we post it on social media, it goes on the website. So this is a marketing strategy that has legs. So let's look at the video.
Hi, I'm Hunter Johnson, manager here at Bill Kenny Toyota and founder of the $5,000 test drive. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Hunter, I see you taking tests. But guess what? Before I started working at Bill Kenny Toyota, so did I. E-I-O. But at Bill Kenny Toyota, all that's changed. I want to make a test that everybody will enjoy taking. That's why I'm personally challenging you to come down to Bill Kenny Toyota and take your $5,000 test drive. The rules are simple. Take a test drive on any vehicle at Bill Kenny Toyota, and you'll be able to win $5,000. That's right, $5,000. Mucho dinero. A lot of pesos, my friend. Just to take it and drive. Take it all in. Smell the aroma. That's right, $5,000. Do yourself a favor. Head down to Bill Kenny Toyota and take your test drive today. Your destiny's calling. Not destiny's calling. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Is that TLC? Never mind. Come down to Bill Kenny Toyota and test drive your car.
So if you got, by a show of hands, who found that amusing? And you won't hurt my feelings if you didn't. Look around. Hold your hand up and look around. So creating a video like this stands out. It goes on social media. We tweet it. We use it on YouTube. It's on their website. We drive emails to it. And it creates awareness. This was not a commercial like, oh, come on in. We're going to sell you a Toyota Camry for $19,999. There was no talk about price in here, but it's done really well. There's been hundreds of thousands of views of that video. And it's memorable. And that's what's about marketing. You have to be memorable. You have to be memorable in the way you approach an individual. You've got to be memorable in your advertising. You don't want to be like everybody else. And that's whether you're doing traditional, digital, it doesn't make a difference. And by doing this, you increase your grosses. I think you guys can definitely see that. Here's another one, Fred Anderson. He has a $3,000 advantage. He's really taken a Toyota Care program for the most part. Lifetime powertrain warranty, lifetime oil changes, car washes, loaner cars, loyalty discounts. Learn more. This dealer's generating a lot of gross. And this is how they stand out. This is who they are. Not only that, I mean, we have the dealer principal. He's always dressed in his suit. He's got his red tie. He's got his pocket square. We've got another dealer. He's a little more casual. So you want to start to create that brand. You want the same music bed in your TV commercials. You want the same quotes. You want the same slogans. You want the same look, the same feel. The manufacturer holds you to that standard, but a lot of times you're working with some traditional agency that's running your TV campaign, your radio campaign. It says one thing. You're working with another company that does your digital campaign. It says something completely different and looks different. Then your website's out there. It's another company and it looks completely different. And I understand that we have to do that sometimes, but you've got to take control of it. And you've got to make sure that everything follows through and everything's true to your brand. I talk about this all the time. And trust me, you want to tweet this. But if you live by price, you die by price. It's so true. I mean, look at what happened to Chrysler years ago. When all the employee pricing and GM, I mean, they had a hard time recovering from this. And so what I mean by this is in your traditional media, for example, or your offline media, your TV advertising, your radio advertising, don't focus on price. Focus on the feature and benefit of the vehicle. Focus on your inventory. If you're having a sales event, then just leave it as a sales event. The goal is to get them to your website, and that's what they're going to do anyway. If somebody's considering you, they're going to go to your website. That's where price should happen, because once they get to your website, you have the ability to retarget them. Retargeting is where you visit a website, you pick up a code, you leave that website, and that ad follows you wherever you go. That creates top-of-mind awareness. If you don't have retargeting on your website, that's the first thing you want to do is get retargeting on your website. So again, your offline media, don't always focus on price. There's nothing worse than advertising a vehicle for $23,999, and then the very next commercial on the stop set is at $17,999. So here's the strategy. This is what I want you guys to do is learn more about your market. Make sure I didn't skip the one there. Okay, good. Learn more about your market. So here's a page of one of our clients' websites that says, will you help us? Just start out by saying, will you help us? And people want to help. And we go through the survey and it says, our goal is to ensure we continue to offer the lowest prices possible for our vehicles, service of the vehicles. So we're evaluating our marketing strategy. Would you like to help? And then we go through and we ask them questions. What radio stations are they listening to? What TV programs are they watching? And you'll be amazed that people love to help and they'll fill this out. The really cool part about doing a survey like this is because now you can understand where they're at in the shopping funnel, because you can have additional questions in there and you can ask them, when was the last time they purchased a vehicle? And now they'll give you that answer, and now you can start to retarget them, you can start to email them based on where they're at in the buying cycle. And with this strategy, it doesn't just have to be for your clients. You can promote it on Facebook, you can promote it digitally, you can promote it in traditional media, you can drive traffic to your website, you can even put in the chat pop-ups, because I'm sure you guys have chat on your website. Because if you don't have chat on your website, that's the second thing you need to do when you get back, is get chat on your website. I know some of you are going, I tried it, it didn't work. What was that, a year ago? So try it again, because the online shopper, or the shopper in general, is evolving. So survey everybody you can survey, and this is an ongoing process. I'm saying this is traditionally a mix that we found of our clients of where the mix starts, where it falls into place. 38% is search. That's like Google, pay-per-click, Yahoo, Bing, those type of things. And then display is 14%. Display being the 14% is like retargeting, where they pick up the code, they see your message when they leave. And again, this is not specific to your dealership because every market's different on this, but this is generally what happens. Display are the graphic ads it's following. 35% is TV. And think about it. You're sitting there in front of the TV and you're watching TV, and generally what's in your pocket or what's right beside you? It's either your iPad or your mobile phone. So if your commercials, like the one we just showed you, if your commercials are entertaining and different, they're going to go to your website, chances are. And if your analytics are robust enough, you can see, hey, when I'm running my TV campaigns, I'm seeing a spike in traffic to my website. So now you start to feel better about that. And then 14% radio. We have some markets we don't do any radio, it's just TV. And then we have some markets we're still doing print. So every market's different, but generally this is where our clients fall into a media mix. So let's talk about Traffic Match. There's so many times, and again, write this down, because you need to do this when you get back to the dealership, guys, and get back to your businesses. A traffic match, what you want to do is look at the traffic coming to your website. In other words, by the search engines. How much of your traffic is coming from Google, how much is coming from Yahoo, and how much is coming from Bing? Because a lot of times we forget about all the other search engines, like Yahoo and Bing. Again, these are search engines. So we forget about Yahoo and Bing because we think Google's the be-all, end-all. So let me give you an analogy here real quick, okay? So you get home in the evening, you turn on the TV to watch the commercials, right? Anybody do that? Anybody go home and watch commercials in the evening? Nobody? Oh, all right. I'm kind of embarrassed. Okay, so all right, well then let's change it completely. I guess I screwed that one up. So you get in the car in the morning and you turn on the radio to listen to the commercials. Right? No. But what we do is we pull out our iPhone, our Droid, our BlackBerry, or we sit down in front of our computer or our tablet and we look for the commercials. Do we not? We look to research. We're searching. We want to buy a product. We want to learn about a service. So think about it. If we're using search engines that way, doesn't that make sense to start your budget out with digital first? And again, your traffic match, if 60% of your traffic coming to your website is Google, and then a certain percentage is Yahoo, and I'm talking about your organic traffic, guys, not your paid traffic, because it's going to skew if you're doing Google. So base your budget on that. Put Yahoo and Bing into the mix based on percentages. But there's one other thing I don't want you to forget about that's brand new that I didn't think we were ever going to be able to advertise on it. Anybody know what I'm talking about? What?
DuckDuckGo. New search engine.
Well, I'm going to get into that in a minute. I'm going to let you guys kind of let it fester for a minute. What I'm talking about, a new advertising platform that you want to consider. This new advertising platform, when somebody downloads an app, in other words, like a payment calculator or an app for one of the classified listing sites, you can target them. So let that just think about a minute of downloading apps. So impression share. If you're doing digital, what I want you to do is I want you to go back and ask the company you're working with, what's my impression share? To explain impression share very simply is, so let's assume in the market that you've got 10,000 searches in the month having to do with your product or service. If your impression share is 50%, you're only showing up 50% of the time. I hope that makes sense. Your impression share that you want to have when you're doing a digital strategy is around 90%. In other words, you want to show up 9 out of 10 times, and your impression share will tell you that. So ask that question again. So write that down, impression share, ask that question. Because if you're not spending enough, you're not getting enough frequency when it comes to digital, and you're losing out on those opportunities. So ask the question and find out. And just because, let's say that you're showing up 50% of the time, and you're spending, let's say, $5,000, you don't have to spend $9,000. It doesn't equate that way. It might be you have to spend another $1,500 to get to 90% impression share. So missing opportunities. So what I was talking about, we have Google, we have Yahoo. With missing opportunities is Facebook. Facebook is a great way to advertise, and it's very low cost. And with Facebook, you have so many tracking opportunities that you know you can even track, if you wanted to reach mothers that have children between a certain age group, and the mother would prefer crunchy Jif peanut butter over Skippy, you can do that on Facebook. And I can't believe I just said Skippy because that just sounded weird when it rolled off the tongue. But anyway, so Facebook is a great advertising tool. And I mean, and you can do that for a very low cost. The newest one is iAds, Apple iAds. It used to be that you'd have to have a budget of $10 million, and then they went down to $1 million. Now you can have any budget to advertise on iAds, and we're seeing some really good success off of that, because when an individual downloads an app, and that's just one of the tracking opportunities or targeting opportunities, when they download an app having to do with your industry, you can target them. Some great capabilities on iAds. So again, it's not just all Google. If you're spending 100% of your budget on Google, you're missing opportunities. So start to distribute your budget a little more. So let's do a website dive. Let's go into a website, and let me give you some tactics, some things that you really want to be doing on your website. And I'll talk about some things you got to be cautious of too. So the first thing, on this dealership's website, if you notice, it's price. So we got away from traditional media, And we don't talk about price in traditional media for a lot of our clients because they're going to go to the website. So get the price on the website. And you'll notice the pricing on here has a monthly payment. And I know a lot of you guys are high rollers and you don't worry about how much it costs. I'm sure you've seen the commercials now with one of the commercials out there where they're talking about the super rich people and they don't need to save money and all that. But anyway, I know you guys are that way. But most of the consumers out there, most of the shoppers, they want to know how much is that cell phone going to cost them per month? How much is the internet service going to cost me per month? But the vast majority of websites out there, the dealership websites, do not have a monthly price. And you can do the bi-weekly, you can do the monthly, however you want to set it up, but you've got to get monthly pricing on there. Leasing's definitely been growing for a lot of our clients, and you see we even have leasing pricing on there too. By doing this, people can go, oh yeah, I can justify this. It makes total sense. So that's step number one. Get monthly payments on your website. It's easy to do. Notice this page. You guys notice anything about this page? How about all the call to actions? Think about what happens to a shopper. When a shopper is interested in shopping, you've got different call to actions. You've got different profit centers you need to promote because you don't know exactly why this person came to your website. Was it for them to look at the new cars, the used cars? Was it for service? I mean, getting credit and learn more about credit, to value their trade. But look at all of the call to actions on this home page. Your home page, the job of your home page is to get them into the website. So here's a tactic. Here's one thing I want you to definitely do too, is notice in the top right-hand corner that there is no phone number, there is no address on this website. None. Well, I'm saying on the home page. Because if you had it on the home page, what happens is an individual visits your website, they get your phone number, they get your address, whatever it might be. Yeah, you could possibly be getting a conversion, but then they're going to leave your website. I could go to your home page of your website, I could spend 10, 15 minutes or an hour on the home page of your website, and then I leave that page. That's measured as a bounce. Again, if it's measured as a bounce, what happens? Your quality score goes down because the search engines say, oh wow, this website's not a very good website. People are going to it and leaving. They're not clicking into this website. So now your SEO, your search engine optimization, will go down. If you're doing paid search, you will have to pay more. And that's only done in the automotive industry. J.D. Power did a study 2 years ago, and you know the numbers have definitely changed. And they said 49% of shoppers, again, almost half of all shoppers, will visit 5 dealerships' websites, but they only show up to 1. So if they're only going to show up to 1, why is that? Well, it's because that they're looking for, is this dealership located where I like to go shop, where I go somewhere and eat, where I work, where I live? And if you're not, then you're going to lose that opportunity. So get them to click like a contact us page, about us, and then when they hit that page, have it really big phone number, address, and all that. Because now what you can do is understand their digital body language. You can increase your SEO. You can decrease the cost of your paid digital campaigns. And you can also retarget them. Again, retargeting is something you want to do. Have the retargeting on that page. Don't ever have retargeting on your home page because you just start wasting money because people accidentally click on the website and I mean they're not a good target. So now you can talk about why they should buy from you, because you guys have already established why they should buy from you. You know, what's your advantage plan? What's your $5,000 test drive? So a lot of call to actions. The next one, payment calculators. So many times we forget about the payment calculator. If you do not have a payment calculator on your vehicle detail page, you've got to get it there. So they click the button, they go over to another page like this, and it has a payment calculator. And you notice that we're communicating with the person that's using the payment calculator. We go all the way through the process and we say, hey, we're always happy to help you stay within budget. This is a worst case scenario of this payment, of this price. You could also qualify for blank, 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 all the different programs that are available. So they calculate the payment, and you'll notice right below the payment calculator is the next logical steps. Because if I came into your dealership and I said, wow, I really love that Toyota Camry, what's it going to cost me per month? Well, you're going to say, Paul, that depends. That depends on how much you're going to put down. Are you going to trade a vehicle in? So you want to have those next logical steps. You see them on the bottom, they calculate the payment, they click the button, so we take them through the process. So many times on our website, we make it difficult. We make people have to think too much, and you don't want to do that. And we've been testing this, and this is doing really well. See the shopping cart? I'll take it. I mean, a lot of us are using Amazon. A lot of us are using Zappos. A lot of us are buying online. So is it too outrageous to think that the shopper is ready for that too? No, it's not. Granted, we're not selling cars online, but this way I'll take it. They can go in. They can say, yeah, I want to reserve that car. And then notice right above it, it says only 16 left. I know some of you guys that had to fly in here, when you went to get your ticket, it said only 2 seats left at this price. That was a call to action. That's playing with scarcity and abundance. And then you see right below it, it says currently 13 people viewing this vehicle. eBay does it. Why aren't you doing it on your website? These are simple little tactics that you can do. And then you notice a little farther down, it says get Ryan's best price. You know, I hate playing that game, I really do, but here's the question to you guys. When's the last time somebody came into your dealership and they said, hey, is that your best price? And then you had to talk to them and say, yeah, that is my best price, and this is how, and this is why. Well, they're going to ask the same, they want to ask that question to your website. So if you're saying, hey, I'm a market price, our price is our price and all that, you're missing opportunities. You've got to play the game a little bit. It gets them to engage you. You talk to them and say, that is my best price and this is how. And then the next one, check availability. So think about what happens at your dealership when a lead comes in. How many times have people called you or emailed you and said, hey, is that car still available? Yeah, they're doing it. So why aren't you doing it on your website? Whatever happens on your showroom floor needs to happen on your website. The same word tracks, the same processes. And then we did it for used cars, and oh my goodness, did it make a difference. Of course, we only have one available. Act fast, only one left. Currently, 9 people viewing this vehicle. These are simple little processes that you can do. So if you're selling a product, this is really easy. If you're a dealer, of course, it's very easy. If you're selling a service, not so much. Content. We forget about the importance of content. So let me kind of pose this question to you. When's the last time you went onto a website and you were going to buy a set of headphones for like $39 or $29 and you read reviews? I mean, seriously, the headphones were less than 30 bucks. And you're reading reviews, you're researching, you're looking at all this content. The average shopper will visit 22 different websites when they're in the shopping process. And the reason that is because we're failing them. We're failing of getting all of this content on the website. So that's where that swipe wall that I talked about, that's where you want to start developing content on your website. If you could just do 1 article per month on your website, and do it with video too, because some people prefer to read, some people prefer video, but 1 article per week on your website. Get it on your website as your FAQs, and this gives you a great opportunity to have content that you can use on social media, you can do in your email marketing. I mean, there's so many different ways you can use it. And then on the content, if you notice on the page here, that there's call to actions. My check engine light's on. Why is it on? Here's the reason it's on. Get so much off service. You know, schedule your vehicle for service, find out what your car is worth. Again, it's a next logical step. So sit down and write down, you chart it out. What does a person do when they go through the shopping process? And answer that process on your website. That's where you're missing. You buy a website platform, and you're like, oh, I got the website, it looks good. And you're looking at the home page, but you don't go through the process like a shopper would. Video reviews. You definitely want to be doing video reviews. And I mean, it's so easy. And I wish we had time to do video reviews, and we don't have time to do video reviews. But what I want you to do is go see Samantha at our booth, and she'll get your email address, and she'll send you guys a script of how I want you to do video reviews. Because a video review of saying, hey, how'd we do? It's not getting watched. But we have a 4-step process of how to do a video review that will get watched. And that's what we have on the page. Again, this is easy. Your website provider can do this. This is easy to do. So get the video review of the product, of the vehicle, and get it on your vehicle detail pages. All right, what I want you guys to do, and we got to do this really, really fast. Pull out 2 business cards. And then I'm going to keep going, and then we'll get back to the 2 business cards. But pull out 2 business cards and put it down in front of you. Because I told you, so many times we come to these conferences, we get great ideas, and when we go back, we don't get it done. All right, everybody got 2 business cards out? We got to move fast because Bill's going to push me off the stage here. He's giving me the hairy eyeball already. All right, everybody got 2 business cards? Don't be shy. If you don't have a business card, I want you to write your name, your phone number, and your email address down on a piece of paper, guys. Come on. Play along here. All right, everybody got it? All right, what I want you to do is stand up. Because so many times we come to a conference and we sit by the people we work with, the people we know. And that's not giving you a great opportunity to engage. So come on, get the business cards out. Come on, come on, come on. And I want you to turn around to a complete stranger, one complete stranger, and I want you to hand them your business card and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I want you to be my success coach." Okay, great. So we're limited on time. I want you to leave the other business card on the table because we're going to make sure we send you some really good things to help you be successful in what we're talking about.
That's awesome.
Okay, so your time's up because Bill's going to push me off here, guys. So excellent. All right, so go ahead and sit back down. Boy, you guys are a social crowd. I'm loving this. So what I want you to do is make sure that you email that individual and you connect with them on social media and you share something from this conference that you thought was really great, okay? So let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about Smart Search. So Smart Search is what we built a product on the website that when a person goes to search on the website, we know their behavior and we can start to email them based on that behavior and retarget them based on that behavior. This is an emerging technology. This is the type of stuff that you want to be doing on your website. And what about buy it now? I mean, again, we talked about Amazon. Why wouldn't somebody do it? Put it on your website and see what the conversion is. Even if you're not able to sell online, which a lot of people aren't, you can retarget the individual. You can get their contact information, and it's completely different than anybody else in your market. We're seeing great success off our website platforms with this. All right, so I always ask this question, do you TO? Of course we do. We TO. So one of the things that I want you guys to start researching is exit intent technology. Exit Gadget is a product we built, but there's other products out there. There's free products, but exit intent, somebody's going to leave the website and you're able to pop a message up when they're showing the behavior to leave a website. These are all great tools to drive more leads. So TNT Honda's doing it, 311 leads off of this type of product. No one's doing it. Great marketing is about being different. And then what about just move to Canada? I mean, we're in some of the areas where we have a lot of people moving in from a different country. The Royal Bank of Canada offers this program. There's other banks. Get this type of content on your website. This is great content, and it's always good. It's going to generate leads. So we're talking about used cars. 7 things you can do to increase the trade-in value of your vehicle. All we do is ask for an email, and that's it. Again, guys, this is simple. You can do this. There's no reason you can't do this. And I'm feeding you with a fire hose here. Is your warranty about to expire? Why not? Do it. I mean, you have a lot of individuals that go, oh, some company contacted me about an expiring warranty. Is it for real? You can talk about it on social. You can drive traffic to these type of pages. And then you notice on Hinger's website, get Michael's best price. Having a picture in there will drive traffic. And then the vehicle reviews right there. Why not? We're reading reviews on headphones. Why aren't we doing reviews on our own website about the vehicles? Get reviews about the product on your website. Why wouldn't you have that? And then here's the analytics. And I can't tell you what dealer it is because he's like really concerned about that. But following these tactics that I've showed you, his conversion is 9.47%. Most dealers' conversion of a website is less than 1.5%. And then the average duration on the site is almost 12 minutes. At industry standard is 2.5 minutes. You develop content on your website, you do the next logical steps, your conversion will go up, the time spent on your website will go up. This is all simple simple things to do. So real quick about who we are, because some of you guys are like, who is this guy? We're the second largest in North America when it comes to Google spend with dealerships. We have the highest converting campaigns in North America. Again, this is what Google said. And we have more Google certified professionals than anybody else in our industry that we compete against. We're a full service ad agency, but what we love is we love creating the strategies and looking at the technology. I mean, we're the type, our team is like, well, there went the squirrel. That type, that we love how it's changing so quickly. And if you love that too, there's no reason that you can't start to really compete in this market the way it's evolving. So I told you guys, and I knew I wasn't going to have enough time, that I was going to talk about word tracks for internet, word tracks for on the phone. So what I want you, we've got this, it's almost, the production's almost done on it. So go to our booth and see Samantha or Brian, and you can get this program guide that we have for you of creating the ultimate pay plan, and we also talk about word tracks. So just visit our booth on that, and I think that's, let me make sure that's it.